What about the president going to Dover Air Force Base, Wallace asks. You don't think that Barack Obama has profound respect for our soldiers? And there it is, the fair and balanced act we've all been waiting for.
It was a photo op. It was a photo op precisely because he's having big-time trouble on this whole Afghanistan dithering situation. Bush did this. Just there are no cameras.
I don't know that he ever went to Dover, Delaware.
Well, he went to see the families.
Yes, he certainly went to see the families.
But he didn't make photo ops out of it.
But the argument would be that it was political of Bush not to be seen with the coffins because he was trying to hide the cost of war from the American people.
Well, I have the benefit of knowing George Bush a little bit, and I've seen him cry talking about missions that he's ordered.
That was enough. Limbaugh's invocation of knowing Bush a little bit and Bush the crier to make Wallace cave utterly. And by the way, Chris, you did not need to hedge on that at all about Bush having not gone to Dover for the dignified transfer of remains, because he didn't, not ever. Returning to domestic policy, after giving Limbaugh the chance to repeat the charge that the Obama health care plan is the biggest snatch of freedom and liberty that has yet occurred in this country, Mr. Wallace asked Mr. Limbaugh to suggest an actual solution.
Take some of the unspent stimulus. We have 85% of the stimulus unspent. Take some of it. For $35 to $40 billion a year, you could insure those people. Not $2 trillion, not $1.4 trillion. If that's the objective, do it now.
And there you have it, an oddly revelatory answer to a throwaway question. Attention radio listeners, Orly Tates Limbaugh wants the government to spend some of the stimulus money to buy health insurance for the uninsured. And socks for everybody who doesn't own any. But the crown jewel of this mutual admiration society came when Wallace asked Limbaugh about Glenn Beck's success. Limbaugh has been asked this before and has given himself credit for being basically the father of all conservative media as we know it. He did that again this time, but with a bit more specificity.
Now look what's out. All of this conservative media, conservative talk radio, television, Fox News, the conservative blogosphere. I mean, in one way, I could, if I wanted to have my ego be as big as Obama's is, I could say, look what I created.
So Limbaugh includes Fox News in his list of conservative media between conservative talk radio and the conservative blogosphere. And how does Chris Fair and Balanced Wallace react? No defense of his channel's proclaimed neutrality. Not even self-defense of his one-time status as an actual network-level journalist. Crickets. In fact, his next question begins, let's talk about you. And after asking Limbaugh about what he learned about himself in drug rehab, Wallace turned to the exciting topic of Limbaugh's salary. When Limbaugh seemed a bit put off, this came next.
And don't get me wrong, I think you're a great broadcaster. How can you possibly be worth that kind of money?
TMZ could use you. Oh, Rush, you're great, and I, Chris Wallace, am a real tough interviewer. And after all this, remember, we are reviewing these excerpts in sequence. Wallace then asked this.
Finally, some politics. You predict a possible bloodbath for Democrats in 2010.
Finally, some politics? Right, because everything that had preceded that was in no way political. It's just the musings of a what? Failed low-level baseball executive? Fired top 40 DJ? Well, let's do what Mr. Wallace did not do. Let's balance our analysis out to end with a good question and answer.
Clee, is it true that as of this broadcast, it's been confirmed that you've helped more people regain their health through internal cleansing than any other formulator over the last 12 months?
Well, according to the stats, as best we can tell, Dual Action Cleanse is the #1 selling cleansing product in America, knock on wood. So
here's a riddle. If you've got an empty room and you put Orly Tates Limbaugh and Chris Wallace in it, what do you have then? An empty room. Let's count down for this, the 2,377th day since the previous president declared mission accomplished in Iraq. I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck.